The United Arab Emirates is one of the most attractive destinations for investments in the Middle East. Giants such as Facebook, Google, and Microsoft have all located their Middle East headquarters there, and many more are following their footsteps. This includes Oracle, Cisco, Nvidia, Palantir, Uber, and JetSmarter. The UAE also has some homegrown successes such as the e-commerce website Souq, which was recently acquired by Amazon for $580 million in cash. Today, we are going to give you some pros and cons to expanding into the United Arab Emirates. But first, let's cover some quick facts. The UAE has a population of 9.3 million people, with the majority living in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Sharjah. Curiously enough, UAE nationals makes up no more than 20% of the population, as the majority are expatriates from other countries. The official language in the country is Arabic. However, English is widely spoken and mandatory for most jobs. In terms of its financial well-being, the UAE ranks 19th in the world with a GDP per capita of about $38,000. The total GDP of the UAE is $349 billion. Now let's jump to the pros and cons. Pros. 1. Business friendly. The UAE ranks 21st in the ease of doing business and 10th among 180 national ranked by Index of Economic Freedom. Things like opening a company, registering property, and obtaining permits are all fairly easy and quick to complete. 2. Strategic location. The UAE is in a favorable location as it is the link between Asia, Africa, and Europe, and is an important transportation hub, housing the third busiest airport in the world. It also is the gate into the Middle East for many foreign companies. 3. High internet usage. The UAE has one of the highest internet penetration rates in the world at over 90%. Almost every person in the country is connected to the internet. 4. No federal income taxes. The UAE has one of the most favorable tax systems in the world, with no personal income taxes, no corporate taxes, no tax withholdings, no capital gain taxes. The UAE is the favorite destination for private equity and venture capital investors in the region, with total investment surpassing $1 billion in 2016. It accounted for 62% of private equity investments and 34% of venture capital deals in the Middle East. Local UAE venture capital firms have also invested in many successful startups, including Big Basket and Reddit. Now let's talk about the cons of expanding into the UAE. 1. Ownership restrictions. In general, corporate entities in the UAE must be at least 51% owned by either UAE nationals or by entities fully owned by nationals. However, there are several free trade zones in the country for which these restrictions don't apply. Also, the government has expressed intentions to ease this regulation. 2. Cash-based culture. It is very popular to use cash in transactions. About 75% of total transactions in the UAE are in cash. This may have an impact in how technology companies operate. 3. Dependence on oil. Even with current diversification, the UAE is still highly dependent on oil, and the local currency is tied to it. It is unclear how well they can keep a fixed exchange rate with fluctuations in the price of oil. 4. Employee turnover and labor loss. The UAE has a high employee turnover rate, which can be due to the huge number of expats who only work and live in the UAE temporarily. What makes it worse, though, is that hiring and firing is not very straightforward, as often companies need government approval to hire employees. When it comes to firing, the company has to pay what is called an end-of-service gratuity to the employee, which is a month's wages for each year that the person spends at the company. 5. No double tax treaty with the US. This means that for American teams, UAE-sourced income is likely to be taxed in the US, so salaries might have to be adjusted accordingly as a way to compensate. In summary, the UAE can be a good option for expansion due to its business-friendly laws, strategic location in the Middle East, and tax advantages. However, be conscious of the drawbacks that can affect your business. Having local advisors and partners will be beneficial in helping you navigate local laws, understand cultural differences, and build relationships in the country.